Hi guys, I'm Puzzles, and this channel is just gonna be me playing chill puzzle games while I talk about random stuff. My friends say I have a soothing voice, so I hope this helps you sleep or study or whatever. Here's my first little story. My dog's name is Tilly. Tilly is a small Dachshund and Yorkshire Terrier mix. Not sure if you guys know, but they're called Dorkies. She's petite with short, sturdy legs and a silky brown coat that sometimes shimmers in the sun. Her long fur on top of her head needs to always be bundled up with a little hair tie, or she can't see. I clipped her leash onto her collar. Her tail started wagging so wildly that her whole body swayed. We stepped outside, and the quiet street felt like it belonged only to us. Tilly trots proudly with her nose low, ears perked, and collecting every scent like she's trying to discover buried treasure. Every few steps she'd stop suddenly, sniff, sniff, and I'd nearly trip over her. At the cafe corner, a breeze picked up and rustled the fall leaves. Tilly froze. A single leaf skittered across the sidewalk, and suddenly it was her sworn enemy. She lunged after it, paws tapping excitedly, tail spinning like a propeller. The leaf escaped, of course, and Tilly looked back at me, triumphant anyway, as though she had saved us from danger. We made our way to the park, where the grass was still damp with dew. Tilly pressed her face into it, snorting happily, then flopped onto her side. I sat beside her, watching the sunlight slip through the branches above, and for a moment, everything felt unusually still and peaceful. On the walk back, Tilly walked a little closer to me. Her earlier energy mellowed into a gentle trot. She bumped her head against my leg, her quiet way of saying she was happy. And as we headed home, I realized that a simple walk with Tilly had somehow become the best part of the day. Random thought, but it's wild to me how dogs used to be wolves. I guess this was one of my recent rabbit holes. Let me tell you guys some fun facts about wolves, dogs, and evolution I learned this past week. So picture humans about 20,000 to 30,000 years ago. We're not farming yet. We're hunting mammoths and wearing furs. And somewhere out in the cold, there are wolves. Most wolves avoid humans because we're unpredictable and probably smell weird. But a few wolves, maybe the bold ones, maybe the desperate ones, start hanging around human camps. They're not making eye contact and wagging their tails yet. They're scavenging. Humans are messy eaters, and leftover bones and scraps are basically a wolf buffet. Now here's where evolution steps in. The wolves that are less aggressive and more chill around humans do better in this new scavenging lifestyle. They survive more, reproduce more, and over generations, you get a population of wolves that are kind of camp followers. Not pets yet, but not totally wild either. Humans, meanwhile, realize, hey, those wolves sometimes bark when danger's around. That's kinda useful. Or maybe they notice certain wolves are good at tracking animals, and humans start giving them food intentionally. This is where things shift from accidental evolution to selective breeding, even if early humans weren't calling it that. Over time, think thousands of years, these friendlier proto-dogs start looking and behaving less like wolves. Their ears get floppier, their faces rounder, their coats more varied. These changes actually happen because selecting for friendliness tends to affect a bunch of other traits too, a phenomenon called domestication syndrome. Eventually, humans and these early dogs form a full-on partnership. Dogs help with hunting, guarding, warmth. Yes, prehistoric people definitely used them as portable heaters, and even social bonding. And humans keep feeding and protecting them. It's mutualism at its finest. Fast forward to today, and the descendants of those camp-scavenging wolves are everything from Great Danes to Chihuahuas. Same species, same origin, just radically different because of thousands of years of humans picking traits they liked or needed. So in short, wolves didn't become dogs because we tamed the big scary ones. Dogs evolved from the small subset of wolves that were already less afraid of humans. We selected them, they adapted to us, and together we formed one of the earliest and most successful human-animal partnerships in history. And that's how Tilly went from Ice Age wolf lurking outside the campfire to best friend who steals your spot on the couch. Speaking of couches, I just moved places, and finding a good couch is insane nowadays. Why are the good ones so expensive, and the ones from IKEA feel like sitting on cardboard? And Rabbit Hole 2 is about the history of couches. Okay. So here's the deal. Humans have been obsessed with lounging for thousands of years. Like, the need to flop dramatically onto something soft is not new. The ancient Egyptians were already out here inventing early couches, except theirs were these long wooden benches with legs shaped like animal paws. Then the Greeks come in and up the lounging game. They had these things called clines, basically daybeds, because they loved reclining at dinner. Imagine a whole dinner party where everyone is half lying down like they're posing for a Renaissance painting. That was the vibe. The Romans copy this, obviously, because the Romans copy everything. And suddenly, lounges are the center of social life. Fast forward to the medieval period, and everything gets less comfy again. People are sitting on wooden chests and hard benches because apparently comfort was illegal. But then, thankfully, the Renaissance happens. People rediscover the joys of being comfy, and we start getting padded furniture. Like, finally. By the 17th and 18th centuries, couches start looking more like what we think of today: upholstered, cushioned, decorative. French salons are basically couch but make it fancy. Lots of carved wood, embroidered fabrics. Then the Industrial Revolution hits, and suddenly couches can be mass-produced. Springs are invented. Stuffing gets better. The middle class gets access to actual comfort, not just, here's a wooden box, enjoy. This is also when the sofa becomes the centerpiece of the living room. The couch is no longer just furniture, it's a personality. By the mid-20th century, you get big, plush, modern sofas, modular sectionals, and all the stuff that still tempts me when I walk through IKEA pretending I have my life together. And today, couches are everything. Minimalist, maximalist, customizable, deep seat, cloud couch. Your dog will definitely claim this before you can. So in short, couches went from rigid fancy bench to luxury lounge platform to the emotional support object I need to survive adulthood. And honestly, after thousands of years of progress, I fully believe we deserve a couch that lets us sink in, take a nap, and question all our life choices comfortably. Want to go couch shopping with me? I'll be going later this week. Gotta find a good one for me and Tilly. Hope you guys have fallen asleep already, but if not, you can continue listening to me talk about Rabbit Hole 3. I guess it's finally about time to talk about Tetris. Tetris was created in 1984 by a Russian computer scientist named Alexei, who was working at the Soviet Academy of Sciences. He made it basically for fun, inspired by a geometric puzzle game he liked. The first version was super simple, just falling blocks, but it was so addictive that it spread around Moscow on floppy disks almost instantly. Then things got messy. Because Pajitnov worked for the government, he didn't actually own the rights. Western companies started fighting over who could sell Tetris, leading to one of the wildest licensing battles in video game history. Eventually, Nintendo secured the rights for the Game Boy in 1989, and that was the moment Tetris became a global phenomenon. Tetris is basically a workout for your brain. When you play, your visual and spatial processing goes into overdrive. You're constantly rotating shapes, predicting where they'll land, and spotting patterns under time pressure. That strengthens areas involved in attention, planning, and quick decision-making. It also gives your working memory a boost, because you're holding multiple options in mind at once. There's also a cool mental health angle. Studies have shown that playing Tetris for even a short period can reduce intrusive thoughts and cravings. It works like a cognitive distraction, giving your brain something structured and absorbing to focus on. But sometimes, when I play too much, it gets weird. It's called the Tetris effect. It's usually harmless, but the creepy side shows up when your brain keeps playing the game long after you stop. Sometimes I see falling shapes when I close my eyes, like my brain is projecting a ghost version of the game onto the world. Others get dreams that turn into endless Tetris boards, or feel stuck in a mental loop where they're constantly imagining pieces rotating and dropping. The unsettling part is that it can feel involuntary. Your brain won't shut off the pattern recognition mode you trained it into. For a few people, this makes it hard to sleep, focus, or relax, because it feels like the game is still running in the background of their mind. It's kind of creepy when your own thoughts glitch into a video game replay you can't control. So, I guess maybe don't play Tetris if you want to sleep. Don't worry. I'll play it for you, and you can just listen to me ramble about random things. If you're still here listening, more about me, I guess. I'll be taking a trip soon, and I absolutely hate packing. Have you guys ever used the packing cubes? They're like $15 on Amazon for a set of 5 to 10 of them. Either it's me being hyper-organized, or maybe I like putting things into bags and then putting bags into bigger bags. Kinda like the Russian dolls. Anyways, I hate packing because I can't decide what to bring. Too many what ifs. What if I need this? It's like I'm always trying to be over-prepared for things. Then, when I pack too many things, the airlines start charging for it being overweight. Or you gotta go to the side of the check-in counter and do the unpacking ritual of shame. Sad. Now, when I pack, I treat my suitcase like a tiny apartment with rooms. I lay out 3 cubes, 1 big one, 1 medium, 1 small. Big cube is the closet, medium is the bathroom drawer, and small is the junk bowl by the front door. Clothes go in the big cube, but here's the trick. Roll them, don't fold them. Not only does it save space, but you can actually see everything instead of digging like you're searching for lost treasure. For a short trip, I do 2 tops, 1 pair of bottoms, pajamas, and something comfy. Done. Roll, 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 zip. The medium cube gets all the self-care stuff. Makeup, toiletries, the tiny skincare bottles I pretend I need. It keeps leaks contained, which means no surprise lotion explosions. Highly recommend. The small cube becomes the chaos cube. Chargers, AirPods, medication, hair ties, that random granola bar you'll definitely want later. It all goes in there so you're not panicking at the airport like, where is that one important cable? When everything's packed, the cubes slide into your suitcase like little Tetris blocks, minus the creepy after images. You open your bag at the hotel, pull out your cubes, and boom, you're organized, you're calm. You're the version of yourself you wish you always were. And the best part? When you come home, unpacking takes about 30 seconds because everything is already sorted. Honestly, packing cubes are like giving your suitcase a personality upgrade and saving your sanity in the process. Enough rambling for tonight. So I guess that's it. I hope you guys are asleep, or at least enjoyed listening to me. See you guys next week for more stories. See you later.